Hello, and welcome back to the channel. In the previous video, we went over ways to find your passions and strengths for business and also find what to pursue, like what to sell or what to do in general, things like that. Now from there, obviously, just a concept isn't going to make you any money. You're going to want to realize your product or service. You're going to want to find an easy way to set up a store and get your product out to new buyers fast. And that's exactly what we're going to be covering in this video. I'm going to be helping you find a manufacturer, get whatever product you want to get manufactured, and set up an online store through Etsy. Obviously, step one is just finding whatever product you want to sell. I go into that in a lot more detail. I'll leave a link to that in the description, so feel free to check that out after you're done with this video. So to start, you're going to want to create an account on Alibaba. Of course, there are lots of other ways to find manufacturers, but Alibaba is extremely reliable. You can find lots and lots and lots of manufacturers that can create any sort of product you need and for relatively cheap as well. So you're just going to want to go to alibaba.com and sign up at the top right. It'll ask you for all sorts of information, email address, password, name, like username, things like that. And once you're done with that, you are basically in. You're done with this step. You have created your Alibaba account, and now it's time to make an RFQ. An RFQ, or request for quotation, is a feature in Alibaba that allows you to notify manufacturers that you need a specific product. After you post an RFQ, manufacturers will start to reach out to you, and from there you can really just do whatever you want. You can make a deal, like sort of narrow down the numbers until you find one manufacturer that you want to like finalize a deal with to start making your product. So let's get into it. How do you start an RFQ? First, you want to go to the Alibaba homepage. At the top right, you'll see a little icon that looks like a little silhouette of a person, and you're going to want to click on that. This is going to take you to like a menu, like management page, and on the left you're going to see a bunch of different tabs, and for now we're only going to want to look at one, and that's buying leads. After you click on that, you will see a tab towards the top called My RFQs, and directly under that you're going to see a button to post an RFQ. When posting an RFQ, you're going to be prompted with several different options as to what to do. So first, there is obviously the product name. You can choose from like recommended products or just enter like the name or just basically the title of the RFQ so people can see it. And then you're gonna see obviously the sourcing quantity. There's a lot of different options for like measurement units. It can either be like actual separate pieces or pounds of whatever product you need. And then detailed requirements, that's just all the specifics of what you need. Let's say you want to sell like a specific toy, you're going to want to put like the dimensions or like the shape or color or whatever here. And then you're also able to input images. So if it's something like, for example, a replica of something from a show, you can put in an image of the actual reference so people know what you're talking about. And once you're finished, you're going to see a button at the bottom that says invite suppliers to quote. After you press this button, that will completely finalize your RFQ, and manufacturers will start reaching out to you, and you're one step closer to realizing your product. When managers message you, you're going to be seeing that in the messages tab directly above the buying leads tab where you made that RFQ. Now that you're in the messages tab, you'll see directly to the right of the button, there are all the different people that have messaged you. And from here, it's pretty simple. You can just label different messages. If you hover over a person and you click on the three dots, there's a bunch of different options. You can block, you can archive, delete, mute, or label. You can label them, and that will be a great way to access specific messages. For example, let's say I have a group of manufacturers that I'm working with, and I just want to put them all into one group that I can quickly access whenever I want. I can label them under one major label, and then I can go to the filter key, towards the top to the right of the unread button, and you can filter by whatever labels you've made, and also the trade process, like whether it's quoted, completed, to be shipped, whatever, and also the category if you were to make a category. And the archive button is also there, but that's not really relevant to this video. Now, when you're actually talking with the manufacturer, don't be afraid to take charge and be a little assertive, because if you aren't asserting yourself, they're gonna start trying to rip you off. After all, just like you, their main goal is to make money from what you're doing together. You need to make sure you're benefiting as much as you possibly can be from dealing with this manufacturer. So make sure you're not letting yourself be taken advantage of. What I heavily recommend is, once you're getting towards the final stage of your dealings with your manufacturer, you're going to want to ask for a sample. Always make sure to get a sample before you order a bulk, because if the product ends up not meeting your standards and you've already spent potentially hundreds, maybe even thousands in some cases of dollars on your bulk order, then you're going to be in a pretty bad situation, because you've just spent way too much money on a product that isn't exactly how you want it to be. So always make sure you get a sample product before you finalize that bulk order. When that sample product comes in, make sure to go over any concerns you may have with the manufacturer. Let's say you are manufacturing like an item of clothing, and maybe some of the stitching is off or something like that in the sample that you noticed. Make sure to tell them that. Make sure they know and make sure they fix it, because again, it needs to be to your standards. It's your product. Do not be afraid to take charge. Do not be afraid to tell them to fix it if it's a glaring issue that they clearly have to fix. And now that you've finalized the manufacturing for your product, obviously you're going to want somewhere to sell them. So in the next part of this video, I'm going to be going through step by step how to set up and use Etsy, and giving my personal experience and tips on a lot of different things. And if that interests you, make sure to like the video, subscribe, comment, and tune in for the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.